afternoon. I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Wednesday, May the 10th. Well, the news today is Comeygate or Trumpgate or Russiagate, whatever gate you want to call it. As everybody in the world knows by now, President Donald Trump yesterday fired James Comey as the FBI director. Nobody is buying the story that he did this because James Comey had just been too mean to Hillary Clinton. I mean, really, let's have a laugh about that. The shape of the reporting seems to be that Trump acted because of an increasing unhappiness about the fact that Comey was continuing to investigate, maybe even expand the investigation of the Trump campaign's involvement with Russians, an involvement that perhaps helped him defeat Hillary Clinton in the first place, meddling with campaign financing, shades of Richard Nixon, John Sirica, Sam Nunn, John Doerr, and all those great names of yore. The interesting thing for us is Arkansas congressional reaction. Tom Cotton, who usually rushes to get in front of national TV cameras, has been curiously silent ever since this news broke. He's put out tapes of himself talking to right-wing radio hosts. He's talked about Taiwan, talked about banking subcommittee. So far, nothing on James Comey. John Bozeman, the other senator from Arkansas, has issued a statement. So has U.S. Representative French Hill. I'd say it's safe to say both issued word salad statements, saying not much to say right at this point. A lot more to come on that. Democrats are in high dudgeon, needless to say. Back to local issues. We had the Little Rock school election yesterday on a tax extension, and I was wrong. My thoughts that perhaps that tax extension would be was proved terribly wrong, in fact. It was defeated 65 to 35% in a vote that I think has many implications. For one thing, they turned out a significant number of black voters, something that they sometimes have a hard time doing in local elections. For another thing, they fractured the white community that's often been a big school supporter. Great unhappiness about the state takeover of the school district. Great unhappiness that the state continues to encourage the creation of charter schools, which take still more students from the school district. I think that there's going to be some complications arising from this that spread beyond the school district. This may mean something about city government. There's a new rising force among minority voters that they might be able to seize on and finally make a move toward ending at-large representation on the city board, something that concentrates power in the white business establishment to the detriment of people in minority neighborhoods. There's talk about that. There's unhappiness in that neighborhood that Mayor Mark Stodola was a leader of the school fight that proved to be so unpopular. He may find himself with opponents someday. Anyway, that's down the line, but that's what people are talking about today. Some nervousness. Will the state punish voters in Little Rock and indeed encourage more charter schools and harm the district that Johnny Key, the state education commissioner, now controls? There's great concern about that. And Mike Poore, the superintendent hired by Johnny Key, said that he thinks he's going to have to delay construction of the new Southwest High School, may have to rethink it entirely. This would be a terrible breach of faith with voters who were told that Southwest High School was going to be built no matter what happened in yesterday's election. So we shall see about that. Elsewhere, Cody Highland, the prosecuting attorney in Conway, has finally decided what to do about his finding that the city of Damascus is a speed trap. That is, it gets too much of its city revenue from speed enforcement on Highway 65 through the city. He's going to take away the ability of Damascus police to enforce traffic laws on that stretch of highway for the next year. He'll get the state police and sheriff's deputies from 2 counties to fill in. The city says it's going to appeal. It contends that it has to enforce speed limits to protect people on the 1.6-mile stretch of highway where the speeds are limited to 45 miles an hour. It also contests Highland's figures on the thing. Little Rock police last night made an arrest of a man who is charged now with setting 4 arsons at 4 houses in the northwest part of the city near Comeygate Village over about a 45-minute period last night. It seems to have stemmed from a drunken argument with his wife, and he may have set a fire in retaliation. He's safely in jail today. Piece of news yesterday I think it's worth noting because it ties into a lot of public policy issues. Energy and a solar energy company announced that they're going to build a giant solar energy generating station at Stuttgart, 450 acres of solar panels using free sunlight to make electricity. You know, our Attorney General is busy saying we've got to save the coal industry, if that means swallowing a lot of pollution on our air. There is another way to do it. Energy is leading the way. Good for them on that. The Arkansas Democrat-Gazette reported this morning that the University of Arkansas, through a concession operator, has applied to sell alcohol at its basketball arena, baseball stadium, and the arena where women gymnastics and volleyball team competes. Jeff Long, the athletic director, says no current plans. What he means is the SEC currently has a rule against it, and as soon as that rule changes, I assume the beer will flow at the University of Arkansas. You got to have some money to pay for those $700,000 a year linebacker coaches and all the rest that go along with big-time football. Well, that's the news today from Arkansas. We're still resisting, and boy, is there a lot to resist up in Washington these days. The Trump administration is at least in disarray. They didn't think there'd be any blowback if they fired James Comey as FBI director. Whatever you think about the issue, that's a measure of competence that's worth worrying about. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back tomorrow.